What if everything you thought you knew about ancient history was just the tip of the iceberg? We've all seen the stunning images, the pyramids of Giza, the Roman Colosseum, the mysterious stone faces of Easter Island. They're the stars of our history books, the monuments we've been taught to revere as the pinnacle of human achievement. But what if I told you that these famous sites are just a small part of a much bigger story? A story of lost civilizations so advanced, so complex, and so mysterious that they challenge our entire understanding of human ingenuity. Imagine entire empires vanishing without a trace, leaving behind only whispers of their existence in remote corners of the world. We're talking about cultures more enigmatic than Atlantis, built by people whose engineering and artistry will absolutely astound you. For too long, our focus has been on the well-documented, the easily accessible. But thanks to incredible new technologies like satellite imaging and LiDAR, we're now unearthing forgotten legacies in places we never thought to look. We're finding cities in the heart of the Amazon, monumental structures hidden beneath the ocean, and evidence of sophisticated societies from the last ice age. This isn't just about old stones and forgotten pottery. This is about a radical new perspective on our shared past. It's a journey beyond the textbooks, a deep dive into humanity's most extraordinary forgotten legacies. Are you ready to have your mind blown? Join us as we uncover the untold stories of civilizations that predate recorded history as we know it, and rewrite the narrative of our origins. For generations, our understanding of history has been defined by a select few iconic locations. We've been told the story of civilization through the awe-inspiring lens of the Great Pyramids of Giza, monuments that have stood for millennia as a testament to the ingenuity of the ancient Egyptians. We've looked to the Roman Colosseum, a symbol of an empire's power, engineering prowess, and complex social structure. And we've marveled at the lost city of Machu Picchu, a breathtaking citadel perched high in the Andes, revered for its masterful stone masonry and its profound mystery. These places are incredible. They're breathtaking, and for good reason. They've dominated our historical narrative for centuries, shaping our understanding of what human civilization looks like at its peak. But I want you to pause for a moment and consider a different perspective. What if these sites, as grand and important as they are, represent only a fraction of the story? What if our focus on these iconic places has blinded us to a much bigger, more complex picture of our shared past? The truth is, for every famous monument we've celebrated, there are countless others that have been swallowed by time, hidden under dense jungle canopies, buried beneath shifting sands, or even submerged beneath the ocean's surface. We're not talking about smaller, less significant settlements here. We're talking about entire civilizations, with achievements that were, in some cases, equally grand or even more mysterious, built by people whose existence has been largely erased from the popular narrative. The historical bias is undeniable. For a long time, the dominant narrative was written by those who discovered and documented these sites. European explorers and archaeologists naturally focused on what was close to home or easily accessible. Sites in the Middle East and Europe were often much simpler to find and study than those deep in the Amazon rainforest or in the remote deserts of Africa. This created a profound geographic imbalance in our history books. This is why, until very recently, we believed that the Amazon was an empty wilderness, or that complex societies were only possible in specific geographic regions. This has led to a significant bias in our perspective. We've been taught to see history through a narrow lens, celebrating the known while largely ignoring the vast unknown. But all of that is changing, and it's changing fast. Thanks to incredible new technologies, we are now able to peel back the layers of time and geography. We're using satellites to see ancient roads and earthworks from orbit. We're using LiDAR, a laser technology that can penetrate the densest jungle canopies to reveal the ghost of a civilization buried below. We're using sonar and autonomous underwater vehicles to map the ocean floor, discovering that coastal cities once thought to be mythical might actually be real. We are, in effect, rewriting the history books right now, in real time. We're starting to see a picture of a world far more interconnected and complex than we ever thought possible. The human story isn't a single linear path starting in Mesopotamia and Egypt. It's a vast, global tapestry of incredible forgotten legacies, each one a testament to the enduring ingenuity of our ancestors. These lost civilizations challenge the very foundations of our historical beliefs. They force us to ask, what else have we missed? What other secrets are still waiting to be rediscovered? And what will this new understanding of our shared past mean for our future? This journey is what we're about to embark on. For centuries, the Amazon rainforest was viewed through a very specific lens, as a pristine, untouched wilderness. Explorers and academics often painted a picture of the jungle as too hostile, too unforgiving for large-scale human settlement. The conventional wisdom was that only small nomadic tribes could survive in such a harsh environment. It was a beautiful idea, in a way, suggesting a place untouched by the kind of urban sprawl and complex societies we see elsewhere. But what if this entire narrative was wrong? What if the pristine wilderness was actually the result of a massive ancient human civilization? Thanks to a revolutionary technology, we are now getting a glimpse of the past that's completely rewriting the story of the Amazon. I'm talking about LiDAR, which stands for light detection and ranging. Think of it like an advanced form of radar, but using a laser. An aircraft flies over the dense jungle canopy, firing millions of laser pulses per second down to the ground. These pulses can penetrate through the leaves and branches, creating a highly detailed 3D map of the terrain below. What this technology is revealing is not a pristine wilderness at all, but a vast, interconnected network of cities, towns, and settlements that once thrived here. Recent LiDAR scans in the Llanos de Mojos region of Bolivia have revealed something incredible. The scans showed a massive interconnected urban center, complete with ceremonial plazas, defensive earthworks, artificial lakes, and extensive road networks. Archaeologists call this the Kasarabe culture. What's truly mind-blowing is the scale. We're not talking about a small village here. We're talking about a civilization that built up to 15 cities, each covering over 100 acres, all connected by raised causeways that stretched for miles. This was a sophisticated urban society living right in the heart of the Amazon. And the best part? It's just one of many discoveries being made. This challenges everything we thought we knew. How did a civilization this large sustain itself in a tropical rainforest? The answer is in their brilliant and sophisticated engineering. These societies weren't just surviving, they were flourishing by mastering their environment. The LiDAR scans show evidence of advanced agricultural techniques, including vast raised fields that protected their crops from seasonal flooding. They also created a unique type of soil known as terra preta, or dark earth, by mixing charcoal, bone, and other organic materials into the poor jungle soil. This created an incredibly fertile, self-sustaining soil that allowed them to grow crops and feed a massive population for centuries. They engineered a sustainable, productive landscape, proving that ancient societies could be both advanced and environmentally conscious. The sheer scale and complexity of these newly discovered urban centers are a radical departure from the pristine wilderness narrative. These people were not nomadic hunter-gatherers, they were master builders, engineers, and farmers. Their roads and earthworks suggest a highly organized society with a strong central authority. And this isn't an isolated case. In the Guianas, recent finds are revealing extensive earthworks and geoglyphs, giant geometric shapes carved into the ground. In other parts of the Amazon, ancient farming practices are still visible from satellite images. These discoveries force us to ask a critical question. What else is hidden beneath the trees? What other empires have been swallowed by the jungle, their stories waiting to be told? The Amazon is not a place where history ended. It's a place where history is finally beginning to be uncovered. If the Amazon has taught us that history can be hidden beneath a dense canopy of green, then our next stops will show you that it can also be swallowed by the ocean's depths, or buried under vast, shifting sands. These are environments that are incredibly hostile to human life, let alone the preservation of ancient cities. Yet it's in these extreme places that some of the most mind-blowing discoveries are being made, forcing us to redefine the boundaries of ancient human ingenuity. Let's dive in, quite literally, to the world of submerged secrets. For centuries, tales of lost cities beneath the waves have been confined to myth and legend, Atlantis being the most famous. But what if some of these myths hold a kernel of truth? Off the coast of Japan, near the island of Yonaguni, lies one of the most controversial and captivating underwater archaeological sites in the world, the Yonaguni Monument. For decades, divers and researchers have explored this massive, stepped stone complex. It looks uncannily like a series of pyramids, terraces, and even a stadium, all carved out of solid rock. The debate raged. Was it a natural geological formation, shaped by millennia of ocean currents, or was it the remains of an ancient city, perhaps submerged by an earthquake or rising sea levels? Early skeptics argued for natural origins, pointing to natural rock formations in the area. But recent, meticulous research, using advanced sonar mapping and detailed geological analysis, has provided compelling evidence that this is, in fact, an artificial structure. The precise angles, the perfectly straight edges, the stepped formations, and what appear to be carved roads and drainage channels are too regular, too deliberate to be solely the work of nature. If confirmed unequivocally, this would be a monumental discovery, pushing back the timeline of complex human architecture in the Pacific by thousands of years. Imagine a civilization building such structures, only for them to be claimed by the sea, their very existence debated for millennia. And Yonaguni isn't alone. Across the Mediterranean, there are whispers and even tangible clues of other submerged cities, like the ancient Egyptian city of Heraklion, rediscovered off the coast of Alexandria, or the submerged remnants of Pavlopetri in Greece, one of the oldest known submerged cities in the world. These discoveries remind us that coastlines change, and what was once dry land can become the ocean floor, taking entire civilizations with it. But the Earth's secrets aren't just hidden beneath the waves. They're also buried under vast, scorching deserts. Imagine a place so desolate, so unforgiving, that it seems impossible for a thriving civilization to exist. Yet this is precisely where we find another set of incredible mysteries. For over a century, explorers and archaeologists have chased the legend of the lost city of the Kalahari. This mythical city, said to be a vast ruin in the heart of the Kalahari Desert in southern Africa, was dismissed by many as pure fantasy. The desert is too dry, too harsh, they said. How could a large population sustain itself there? But like the Amazon, modern technology is proving the skeptics wrong. Satellite imagery and drone surveys are now revealing tantalizing clues, faint outlines of ancient structures, circular enclosures, and long-forgotten pathways etched into the desert floor. While still under active investigation, these signs point to a previously unknown, sophisticated civilization that mastered the art of survival in one of the world's most extreme environments. The key to their survival, and indeed the hallmark of many desert-bound mysteries, is their incredible water management. In places where every drop of water is precious, these ancient peoples developed ingenious systems. We're talking about vast underground aqueducts, sophisticated cisterns to collect and store rainwater, and even fog-catching systems in some coastal desert regions. These aren't just simple wells. These are complex engineering feats that allowed large populations to thrive where we thought only nomadic groups could survive. Think of the ancient Nabateans who built Petra, not just a city of rock-cut facades, but a marvel of water harvesting in the middle of a desert. Or the ancient civilizations of the Arabian Peninsula, whose vast irrigation networks, now mostly buried, once supported thriving agricultural communities. The incredible challenges of modern archaeology in these extreme environments cannot be overstated. Imagine diving hundreds of feet into frigid dark waters or enduring scorching desert heat for weeks on end. It requires immense dedication, cutting-edge technology, and a willingness to challenge long-held beliefs. But the triumphs are equally incredible. Each new discovery, whether it's a perfectly carved stone block beneath the waves or a faint outline of a forgotten city in the sand, adds another piece to the grand puzzle of human history. These are not just old stones, they are the narratives of forgotten peoples who built incredible societies, offering a radical new perspective on our shared past. For generations, our textbooks have painted a clear picture of how civilization began. The story goes like this. The last great ice age ended around 10,000 to 12,000 years ago. As the glaciers retreated and the climate warmed, humanity, which had survived for millennia as nomadic hunter-gatherers, finally settled down. They discovered agriculture, learned to farm, and with a stable food supply, they could build permanent villages, then towns, and eventually great cities. This agricultural revolution, we were told, was the spark that ignited civilization as we know it, the birth of complex societies, monumental architecture, and organized religion. It's a logical, compelling narrative, and it has formed the bedrock of our understanding of human progress. But what if this entire timeline, this fundamental understanding of our origins, is fundamentally flawed? What if complex human societies, with advanced artistry and spiritual practices, existed thousands of years before the advent of agriculture? What if the Ice Age wasn't just a time of survival, but a period when unexpected geniuses were already shaping the world in profound ways? Enter Göbekli Tepe, a site nestled in southeastern Turkey. Discovered in the mid-1990s, this place has completely rewritten the script of human history. When archaeologists first began excavating, they uncovered something utterly astounding. Massive, intricately carved stone pillars, arranged in huge, circular enclosures. Some of these T-shaped pillars weigh up to 20 tons and stand over 16 feet tall. They are adorned with stunning, detailed carvings of animals, foxes, snakes, boars, birds, and abstract symbols. The truly mind-blowing part. Carbon dating has revealed that Göbekli Tepe was built over 11,000 years ago. Let that sink in for a moment. That's roughly 6,000 years before the Great Pyramids of Giza. It's also thousands of years before the generally accepted start of agriculture. The people who built Göbekli Tepe were not farmers living in settled villages. They were hunter-gatherers. This discovery throws a massive wrench into our traditional narrative. How could hunter-gatherers, supposedly living hand-to-mouth, with no permanent settlements, no surplus food, no established social hierarchies, organize the quarrying, transport, and erection of such enormous stones? This wasn't a small temporary camp. This was a monumental, sophisticated complex that required immense planning, coordination, and labor. It implies a level of social organization, shared belief, and technological capability that we previously thought impossible for people of that era. Archaeologists now believe that Göbekli Tepe was not a settlement, but a vast, sacred ritual center. People from miles around would gather here for ceremonies, perhaps during specific times of the year. This suggests that shared spiritual beliefs and the need for communal ritual might have been the driving force behind the very first large-scale human constructions, preceding even the need for permanent housing or agricultural fields. It flips the script. Perhaps it wasn't agriculture that led to civilization, but complex spiritual practices that led to large gatherings, which in turn necessitated new forms of social organization, and eventually the need for more food, thus sparking agriculture. And Göbekli Tepe isn't an isolated anomaly. While it's the most dramatic example, other findings from the last ice age are also challenging our perceptions. Think of the incredible cave paintings found in places like Lascaux and Chauvet in France, dating back tens of thousands of years. These aren't just simple stick figures. They are masterpieces of art, demonstrating an advanced understanding of perspective, movement, and anatomy. The people who created them were not primitive. They were artists with sophisticated minds and complex symbolic thought. We're also finding evidence of surprisingly intricate tool use, early forms of jewelry, and even musical instruments from this period. These discoveries force us to rethink the very definition of civilization. Is it just about cities and agriculture? Or is it about complex social structures, shared belief systems, monumental construction, and sophisticated artistry? The Ice Age's unexpected geniuses show us that humanity's capacity for innovation, for culture, and for building something truly grand emerged far earlier and in far more diverse forms than we ever dared to imagine. The story of civilization is not a simple linear progression. It's a rich, complex tapestry, woven with threads of ingenuity from every corner of our ancient past. As we've seen, The story of lost civilizations isn't just a tale of the distant past. It's a story that's being rewritten every single day, right here in the present. We are living in a golden age of archaeological discovery, and it's all thanks to the incredible new technologies that have completely revolutionized the way we look for and find our past. We've moved far beyond the days of just digging in the dirt. Today, a new generation of archaeologists is working with tools that sound like something out of science fiction. We're talking about satellite imaging that can spot subtle changes in soil and vegetation from orbit, revealing the faint outlines of ancient cities that have been buried for millennia. We're using drones equipped with thermal sensors to detect underground walls and structures by the way they hold heat. And of course, the game-changing power of LiDAR and advanced sonar mapping is helping us find hidden empires in places we once thought were empty. But it's not just about finding new sites. It's also about understanding the ones we've already found in a way we never could before. Artificial intelligence is now helping us analyze vast amounts of data, from ancient texts to pottery shards, to find patterns and connections that a human eye might miss. AI is helping us piece together fragments of a language or reconstruct a timeline with staggering accuracy. These technologies are like a time machine, allowing us to see and understand the past with a clarity that was once unimaginable. And this is just the beginning. The world is full of secrets, and there are still so many paradigm-shifting discoveries on the horizon. In the coming years, we can expect to see new surveys in the jungles of Central America, deep-sea expeditions to map the ocean floor for more submerged cities, and active digs that will undoubtedly unearth even more evidence of our extraordinary past. The real history of humanity is not something we've finished writing. It's something we are just now starting to truly understand. So, what does this all mean for us? It means we have a shared responsibility to look beyond the famous headlines and support the incredible work of archaeologists and researchers who are pushing the boundaries of what's possible. Their work isn't just about preserving old stones. It's about connecting us to the forgotten ingenuity and resilience of our ancestors. It's about giving us a radical new perspective on who we are and where we came from. The next great discovery, the next lost civilization waiting to be found, might be just around the corner. It's a reminder that our world is far more complex and our history far richer than we ever imagined. What do you think is waiting to be found?